So in this video, we're going to be looking at 50 tips on how to improve at Rocket League. I'm not the nuttiest player, but I do have thousands of hours, and I am in Grand Champ if I need to validate myself.
Ooh, you're hard.
Some of the tips are quite basic, but even if you're an experienced player, you might learn something new, so make sure to stick around to hear all 50 tips. Just before the first tip, I want to shout out my social medias. If you want to interact with me or have any questions, join my Discord server or tweet me and I'll be more than happy to answer. With that being said, let's get into the first tip. So starting off with the very basics. If you're new to the game, chances are you're using the default camera settings still. You're definitely going to want to change these. I recommend going on Wikipedia, checking out a couple of pros' camera settings and see how they feel, maybe make some little adjustments to what feels best for you. You're also going to want to do this for the controls because the default controls just are very limiting to what you can do. Just play around with the settings and find what works best for you. Picking up small boost pads is an absolute must. You don't always need to go for 100. You can easily get a lot of boost just from picking up little pads. In Rocket League, you can customize your car in so many ways. One of these is being able to change your boost. I recommend using a boost with less visual clutter as it actually can block your vision sometimes. A solid choice is just to use standard. Don't be one of those people that forfeit for no reason. If there's still a chance of you winning, then don't give up. As most of you will know, cross console has been available in Rocket League for ages. If you've just solo queued and you won and played well with a team, don't be afraid to party up. It's often better to get used to someone's playstyle than having to adapt to your random teammates every game. Using quickchat is a really good way to efficiently talk to your teammates without wasting any time. You definitely want to use this for kickoffs, and it can also be useful in-game just to say your teammate should go for a challenge or that you're going for it. Just try to use quickchat to the best of your ability. Ball carrying is an essential skill in Rocket League. It can be very unpredictable of what you are about to do and also become very useful at 0 seconds when the ball isn't allowed to touch the ground. If you aren't great at ball carrying at the moment, I highly recommend practicing. Freeplay, freeplay, freeplay. I can't stress enough how important freeplay is to improving. Even when you're just searching for a match, jump into freeplay until you join it. Over time, the hours will build up and you'll benefit so much. Speaking of training, there are so many training packs out there. Just browse the training packs, see if there's anything that catches your eye, and if you're looking for something very specific, you can always just create your own. Try to be aware of where your teammates are on the field. A lot of the time, this will have an impact on your decision making. If your teammates still aren't back, try not to throw in a challenge as this could lead to an easy counter-attack goal. It can be quite difficult, but try to be aware of who has boost on the field. This can quite often be a big factor of who's about to throw in a challenge or go up for the aerial. So staying on the topic of boost, it's often a good idea to steal your opponent's boost when rotating out from an attack. That's not to say you should go out of position just to steal it, but if you're already there, then you may as well. If you're the first man in threes, just throw in a challenge as you want to force the opponents to actively make a play, rather than letting them get towards your goal for free. Try and make sure you're familiar with pinching, especially pinching on the wall, as this can be a very good way of clearing the ball. Watching high-level gameplay can be a great way of improving and learning. Professional players such as Squishy always upload on YouTube and explain what they're doing and why. Sometimes it's not worth going up for an aerial, especially if you know you're already going to be beaten by the opponent, so just save the boost and stay grounded. When dribbling the ball, try to keep an eye on your opponent's car, as this can be a big indication of what they're about to do next. If they look like they're about to turn, maybe flick the ball. If they've slowed down a lot, maybe shoot as they've lost a lot of momentum. You need to be able to use power slide effectively in Rocket League. This can be for quick turns or keeping your momentum for quick recoveries. Your first touch can make or break a play sometimes. It could set you up for a dribble or a power shot, and sometimes it can bait the opponent in and you can easily beat them to the ball still. When you're trying to learn a new mechanic, let's say for example air dribbling, you really are going to have to put in the hours and just keep practicing and practicing until you get it. Don't give up and lose hope. Sometimes it just takes time. Knowing how to properly flick the ball will save you in many situations. This goes hand in hand with ball carrying and is a great way to beat the opponent. Getting comfortable on the walls is really important and is a great way to stop the opponents from clearing the ball to the side. Another basic tip, but make sure when you're doing fast aerials that you're double jumping. When first learning this, you'll probably backflip quite a lot, but don't worry, that happens to all of us. Just keep practicing. Now I could say a lot about kickoffs and there are many tutorials already out there. Just make sure yours is solid and you're not losing every kickoff. A basic solid kickoff is boost, flip, boost when you land and flip into the ball, hitting it in the center. I'll leave a link in the description to a good tutorial if you're interested in learning more. Stop giving away possession for free. Like bro, there's no one even coming towards you while you're hitting the ball away. Keep control, and if you have low boost, just play for a 50-50. Alongside of this is try not to panic. This is so much easier said than done, especially when you haven't got that much experience in the game, but we all make mistakes and all we can do is learn from them. Saying that, try not to roast teammates when solo queuing, as this can really affect their confidence and we all have bad games. I know we've all had toxic teammates before, and it's easy to get frustrated when teammates are messing up, but come on, don't be that guy. Also, don't be a demo hater. They're in the game for a reason. A demo can be the perfect way to open up the defense sometimes, or it can be that way that you finally break out from all that pressure. Try not to be that guy that says demos take no skill and just use them to your advantage. Sometimes shots can be from difficult angles. When shooting back on yourself, it's often best to use the back of your card to get as much power and still remain as accurate as possible. When you're losing a game and time is running out, you need to play with urgency. I've played with people that are still just playing slow and not rushing, and this is just going to achieve nothing. You need that goal before 0 seconds hits and the ball touches the ground, or you're going to lose. So you need to play more aggressive and throw in more challenges and make sure you get that goal. When solo queuing, especially around the lower and middle ranks, try to make your rotations super obvious. Maybe over-exaggerate your rotating back post, allowing your teammates to comfortably push knowing you're behind. This next tip is quite vague, but you need to know how to recover as quick as possible. This can include air rolling to land on your wheels, knowing how to power slide to keep your momentum, half flipping, etc. I will leave a link in the description if you want a more in-depth tutorial. When you're the third man in threes and you're rotating back for that back boost, don't just hang around there if your teammates are attacking. Try to get up to the halfway line if you're comfortable. If there's a bad clearance, you can maintain pressure, and if there is a clearance over your head, you can drive back and hopefully deal with it appropriately. Make sure you know how to hit the ball properly and with power. The two main factors are what part of the car you hit the ball with and the timing. Knowing how to hit the ball with power is very important, especially for shooting and clearing the ball. Get comfortable on the backboard, as a lot of attackers will hit the ball into the backboard and try to score off the rebound. As a defender, you can stop this bounce from happening just by being on the backboard and touching it to the corner or even trying to clear it. As a defender on the ground, it is so hard to beat the attacker when the ball bounces off the backboard. Being on the backboard can just completely stop all this danger before it even happens. Sometimes as a defender, it can be difficult to decide what to do when under pressure. When in doubt, it's quite often a good idea just to hit the ball to your own corner, and if you're able to stick with it, you can quite often bait an attacker to come and challenge as well. If you do have the opportunity to clear the ball or you see a pass, I would recommend doing this more. When in doubt and under pressure, hit it to your own corner. When it comes to defending, perhaps the most important thing, especially in 1v1 and 2v2s, is shadow defending. Shadow defending is being on the same side as the attacker, driving towards your own goal, imitating the attacker's movement. Learning the spacing of being close enough to your opponent but also ready to react if they shoot is difficult, but try to incorporate shadow defending into your game and you will see huge improvements. Sometimes your teammate or teammates may have overextended and you could easily get the ball and dribble, but it could risk a quick counterattack against you. In these situations, it can be sometimes better just to get an awkward touch and slow down the opponents, giving your teammates time to get boost and back into position. Saying that, it doesn't just have to be 2s and 3s. Sometimes an awkward touch in 1s can buy you time to get back into position yourself. So earlier we talked about recovery, and if you don't know how to half flip, I recommend learning this as soon as possible. It is just so useful and really doesn't take that long to master. Watching your own replays can be a great way to see where you've made mistakes and can improve. No matter what rank you are, I guarantee there are ways you can improve your gameplay, so I recommend now and then saving a replay and seeing where you can improve. When rotating out of the play, it is often too easy to just completely turn off ballcam for a few seconds until you get back to your own boost. This means you'll have absolutely no idea what's going on in the game. I recommend when going back trying to switch ballcam on and off. This will allow you to see what's going on in the game and if an attack is coming your way, whilst also being able to see where you're going. If you see a teammate rotating out and you already have a sufficient amount of boost, leave boost for them because they're gonna need it. There's no point taking 100 boost if you already have 87 and your teammates have none. Playing 1s is a great way to see improvements. I'm sure many of you have heard this before, so I won't talk about it for too long, but there are just so many benefits of playing 1s, especially knowing when to challenge. When you have momentum and you're driving towards the opponent's goal, using the inside and flipping out is the fastest way to get back. When you see someone trying to demo you, the most unpredictable way to dodge this is to side flip. It's very hard to predict and will nearly always work. Staying on the topic of side flipping, it is a very fast way to move around the field. This is because as you're side flipping, you can still boost through the whole flip. When you get into the higher ranks, let's say maybe diamond and above, you need to start trusting your teammates. Yes, people will miss the ball now and then, but they're in that rank for a reason and you don't want to double commit just because you don't trust them. My next to last tip is to make use of workshop maps. There are so many out there, so go have a look, see if there's any you want to try. I personally use Dribble Challenge 2 a lot still, so go check out the workshop page on Steam and see if any catch your eye. My 50th and final tip for you is if you're having a bad day, stop playing competitive. You could go take a break, or play casual, or even just go into training. If you're whiffing a load of balls or playing slow, there's no point in de-ranking. That is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did, and leave a comment of any tips you think I've missed out that are really important. I really hope this video has helped you, and I'll see you in the next one.